Hello there everyone and welcome back. It's time to get into some more serious business. At least a little bit I suppose is what I'll dub it. Since sure it's been fun for me just playing at random, whatever faction I feel interests me at the time, but oh, that's not what you're really here for. Is it just for me to randomly play with no direction or no focus of any sorts? Hell, once Season 3 is all set up, we're at least going to get something a little bit different with me focusing almost exclusively on the Adriani outside of maybe some of my Twitch streams. And maybe a day off here and there where I've tried something different to kind of spice up. But for now, let's start looking at very specific type of fleet compositions, or at least experiment with that idea some. For I don't really know ultimately how I'm going to do the video where I go over and talk about the nuances to like the fleet, like the MegaKannon battleship fleet here, but at the same time it is going to be pretty, yeah, at least going with singular fleets is probably not going to be interesting enough to warrant like multiple multiplayer matches at least. So in all seriousness, I may only do one video, perhaps two, of like this fleet in particular. And hell, since we do have something that's vaguely similar in the fact that there's all light cruiser variants as well, although they're a lot more fragile just because of how much more easily they can be critically hit. Never mind your flagship is vulnerable to just getting blown up that much more faster too, but the concept is still the same, so it opens up the possibility to diversify while still focusing on the same strategy, which in this case is going to be just taking control of the map, being a big bully, and just hang on to as many objectives as I ideally can, all the while pursuing my opponent if the matchup allows for it. Like if I'm playing against Azuriani or any of the Eldari or anything relying heavily on their mobility, I may just be a punching bag for him and just trying to win through the objective, since I'm not going to have a realistic chance to chase him down, at least most of the time. But this will be my first real attempt to experiment with this, at least firsthand, and for the rest of you, this will be an opportunity to see how his fleet kind of compares, at least from the Orks' point of view, I suppose, especially if you have no interest in utilizing his fleet, or maybe just don't have the level 10 upgrades, since this fleet in particular does rely heavily on the tractor cannons, never mind a lot of the higher tech type upgrades and all that too, so it's not really something you could jump into, it goes without saying. Okay, Drukari to start us off there. And if they can get behind me, then I'm in a lot of trouble just because of how slow my ships can be to turn around. But hell, the one benefit of this fleet is I actually do have a lot of frigates to spot for me. And with that said, I probably want to keep them behind my battleships, or at least a handful of them. That will help alleviate a lot of this concern, because the big thing to note, if these things are ever on my broadside or even ideally on my prow, with lock-on, I can shoot them when they are able to shoot me in most circumstances. Almost all the time outside their flagship if they have extended range. So there is some convenience there, if not really bad or really unlikely for me to do the damage necessary. But I do want to grab objectives. This is a bit of an odd layout since we don't have the tightest clump, since this one objective is kind of way spread out. And with them likely utilizing, 3 battleships, they're going to get stolen pretty quickly, I imagine, if I'm not prepared. But with that said, do I want to reload? I like lock-on just because it allows me to be able to threaten to shoot them, so long as they get within firing range. It's just when they're behind me that I'm most vulnerable in all seriousness. And in fact, I almost kind of want to dare them to go in front of me, because that's where the flagship will be. I was thinking maybe having the flagship in back to kind of help protect it, but I think this works better for me just because, again, if they're in my front where this flagship's most vulnerable to getting shot at, then they're taking hits to my shots, so I don't think that's a terrible thing at all. So let's see how this plays out. I don't know how much I like it, but oh, and I didn't group these at all. Well, that was dumb of me. I kind of forgot their speed difference, too.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
This is an amazing start, but at the same time, we'll just go with it. Since I messed up with this control group quite a bit already. But so long as these frigates are alive and they're safe, that helps a lot. And these should stay closer to the ship at all possible. As much as possible, anyway. And I heard a beacon go off, so That's not a big concern. Now the big question, I also want to try and grab the objective on the right. That's going to be a tricky part, since once I start spraying up my ships, my fleet, they become a lot more fragile. It goes without saying. And all ready to grab an objectives? Let's see, I saw the silhouette fly past the objective there. That's like a little weird minor bug of sorts. So we know where the battleship is, at least. Now this is the scary part, trying to spread out the fleet. Because I can't boost forward, let's not overdo this again. And ideally, let's see if we can reveal this some. Likely, it should turn around, you would think. But we'll at least see if I can get... Okay, that gives me confirmation there. So I can rest easy, my objectives aren't getting stolen behind me too much. But with the speed of their ships, they can easily just come and grab that. So we're going to grab these objectives and just try and bully them back. I do have sap cans, but let me at least prioritize engines. If I can get a good critical hit, that helps some. No scanner pulse there, so just keep everything grouped up. Try to anyway. And you're boosting forward, I'm fine with that. And I'm hoping you don't overshoot. Oh, your big rep button didn't recharge, so never mind that fact. And then otherwise, I am going to be forced to spread out this fleet. It's a big problem. But once I get 3 objectives, possibly 4, I'm going to be in decent shape to get these points built up quickly. Because again, my biggest strength is my intimidation factor. Since my opponent's going to be a little bit scared to try and chase after me. You would think anyway. So I got clearing there. We'll try and boost forward. We got to make sure everything's able to support each other though. Since my
you have seized a strategic area.
Okay, this gives me what I want there to an extent. I don't have a scanner pulse though, that's a bit of the problem. So I kind of suspect it's something like that, where they come by and try and hit my flank, but... Oh, they're all there, so thank you for losing your control there. And we know where the flagship at, but the beacon doesn't mean much yet. So we know where most of these ships are. And I have a scanner pulse, but let's at least intimidate him some. And I'm gonna have 20 seconds till my scanner pulse comes up. This is gonna be where I'm strong, because I can just intimidate the hell out of them quite a bit. But I gotta make sure my ships don't die at the same time too, which is gonna be the tricky part. Because 83 armor is still damn potent. And I hate to have this die on me, but that's 1 frigate down. We still have 4 to go. And I can still do damage on this, thankfully with my lock on. And I gotta try and keep these frigates alive too. Since we saw another battleship there, so we know a vague direction where they're at. I just noticed 3 ships back here, and I don't want to get too complacent. Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. They're only 200 health frigates though, so doing damage to them would be nice, but that frigate's all but dead, alas. But if I can kill them, that helps a lot with their mobility, but not so much their point grabbing ability. Now, do the damage necessary, because it's my flagship in a bad spot, but if it uses its tractor cannon, that helps some. Nope, not likely to hit there. I was hoping to get hits, but with the frigates out in an awkward spot, I can at least use, well, the gas cloud. And we are getting hits there. Do I have a scanner pulse? I have them marked again. I just gotta do the damage necessary. All the while grabbing objectives and try and punish them quite a bit. Since apparently there's the little icon of this ship here. They're almost dead. That's pretty damn close to losing his crew. Now the big trick is how to best do this. Do I brute force? Well, I'm kind of tempted to brute force my way forward and grab a 4-point, because that will help a ton. Especially with the sap can. Actually, I'm about to have scanner pulse back up in 10 seconds, so let's have this go and try and complement. It's going to be tricky to do. Well, that's convenient. Damn it. I was hoping to blast that, but that might do some damage to it. And we could grab this one objective as a bonus. Can we make this work? It's going to be a tricky part. Since again, I am spread out. They are evading, or at least running away, which helps a little bit in this regard. I just gotta somehow keep them from doing damage. Minimize the damage, because all 3 battleships are here. So that's going to be a tricky part. I can easily grab this one objective, but now keeping these alive is top priority. Especially since, again, this is the flagship too. But if I can get the beacon out, that helps a ton there. And I'm about to well, I'm not quite going to lose my deck, but that is definitely going to be felt. Because I can't quite boost out quickly enough. Nope, mutiny is affected due to the fire assault, so the flagship is not going to do a whole lot here. And I'd like to do something about those frigates, but they take so long to grab objectives as well. Not a huge issue yet. Can I at least grab more of these objectives? That's going to be the problem. Because I can get 5 points there. It's probably what I should have seriously been doing. And I should... And that was like, what? The 3rd shadow field? And you cannot boost forward just yet. Yeah, once I get the... Yeah, I'm going to get the 5th point here really quickly, potentially. How do I secure this, since it does currently have a beacon on it too? A lot of health, but with these extra ships, that does... I heard... Okay, I heard boosting coming over there. So, there... Let's see, there's the frigates. Let's see if we can at least kill these off somehow. If only I hadn't burnt the scanner pulse, that'd be kind of nice. I don't know if I actually killed them or not, but... Can I bore it? I don't think that's going to matter, especially since I just flew out of the objective too. Let's keep that in mind. And we know where 3 battleships are at least. So you can hide in a gas cloud. You can repair in a moment. You can intimidate this flagship. Mutiny. Bad time when I was about to get a repair on you too. Maybe I should have got... Well, it's unlikely I could slow them the best. But there's the value of not having lock on right there, because I can't shoot him at all. And that did hit, to an extent. And again, I do have the point lead. It's just about weathering the storm quite significantly now. And that was their last storm, or the last dark matter cannon. And you're concealed, if not burning a bit to death. And I'm hoping that was a lot of ramming damage, although... With 5 objectives... oh no, I don't quite have 5 objectives yet. I was kind of thinking maybe I did.
Orks is best.
And this would...
You got it, boss.
Now, can I...
What you want?
I could boost over there, but I don't think that's going to help me a whole lot.
Orks, orks, orks.
But I can get in the gas cloud, since their beacon is spent. I had to burn to repair to kind of try and enforce that, but...
You want us over there? Hit the red button.
Let's see if we can punish this. We can grab this objective, and there's only 1 frigate there. That's going to take them a while to grab.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
Sadly, didn't get much of a shot there, but at least I can get this objective quickly enough.
You got it.
They're going to fade me, and we have the point lead again as a result. If only I was faster about doing this, getting the 5 objectives, and I heard the boosting.
Faster, you grunts.
Oh, your engine's down again. Go figure.
Orks, orks, orks.
So you're going to take a while to grab anything, is the sad truth.
Yeah.
Because I still got quite the point lead right now, and with them spread out, this is kind of where I'm strongest to an extent.
Here we go.
Although I don't quite have the number of ships to grab objectives the best.
Move that junk.
Alright, we'll just turn around. We're almost done with this. They may take that 1 point there, but
Here we go.
just so long as I'm hitting the prow, or the broadside's hitting,
Enemy ship sighted.
You have seized a strategic area.
you're allowed to grab the objective, you know.
The
I know.
enemy is seizing
Okay,
one
you
of your
can
strategic
boost now.
areas. The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas. You have seized
We still have a
strategic
point lead. It's
area.
just making sure these ships don't die in a careless
The
fashion.
enemy has seized a strategic area.
You got it.
And that beacon's not going to stick on me, so in theory I can use the gas cloud still.
Full speed.
All I need to do is keep these from dying somehow,
Onto something.
which I'll have the gas cloud to conceal.
Orks is best.
I'll get this third objective, and I still have a point lead. I'm in good shape here.
The enemy is seizing one of your strategic areas.
And shields are about to recharge in a moment.
Faster, you grunts. We'll fire another
Bad
gun.
time of a
The
mutiny.
enemy has seized a strategic area.
So I lost control of that 1 ship, so this may not go well for me now, unless I could get another objective. Or somehow kill that 1 ship, which is unlikely without any tractor cannon or any of those abilities.
Here we go.
Because you know what they're going to do, they're just shoot at me constantly.
You want us over there?
So it's going to be tricky to do the damage necessary unless my lots of guns can hit.
Got it, boss.
And since I turned off lock on, that's tricky to do.
Orks, orks.
Because I am only about 300 points away, but it is keeping them from getting more of their shots off.
Got it.
The enemy has seized
Maybe
a
I can grab that
strategic
1
area.
objective. I
The
ideally
enemy
need to
has
keep them from
accumulated
destroying these ships.
75% of strategic points.
And watch my morale.
Orks. Move that junk. Here we
Yeah,
go.
it's gonna burn to death, but if I could get a third objective, that helps a ton.
Got it, boss.
Unlikely to happen with the slow, speedy nature of my ships.
What you want?
You are close to victory by strategic points.
Because, yeah, you're losing fission. It's gonna burn to death, though, with the fire assaults. Can I grab these points? This is still gonna be down to the wire. I just gotta be willing to take these hits now.
The fire's over here.
Since they're not really in a good position to grab the objectives from me, unless they want to dart right past me, which they could do, they have the mobility for it.
You want us over there?
But with my boost, I will grab this objective quickly enough.
Hit the red button.
The enemy is close to victory by strategic points.
Enemy ship sighted. You want us over there?
So that scared them quite a bit.
Retro's on. that junk.
And I do have lock on or brace for impact to help here.
Enemy ship sighted. Orks, orks, orks.
Do I do hits? I don't think I quite kill it.
You got it, boss. We stumped the enemy ship.
This sadly is going to die and that will be game. It was close, but again, I should have done that faster. It's simply what it came down to.
Enemy ship sight.
If I grabbed the objective sooner, then this would probably not have been a concern. After all, I was 100 points away.
Orks do best.
It would be nice to have the flagship stay alive though, because those Nova cannons are pretty damn helpful. I don't know how many of those the scatter shot actually hit, but I didn't get the tracked cannons I would have liked either. So, maybe not the most exciting to watch, because again, that's the nature of Orks, especially when dealing with something of elusive nature, but I have the power, I have the durability to potentially just win that match just by sitting on the objectives, as we kind of seen there. I was just slow to take advantage of that one strength. Okay, apparently we're getting ourselves a rematch, but just with a different player. So, we'll try and make this a little bit quicker by maybe getting a little more aggressive, but at the same time, we didn't really deal with impalers in that last match, let alone torpedoes, although to a limited extent, if I'm aware of the torpedoes being launched, I could boost out of their way. It just would be awkward for my positioning with that said, but I think it's worth it to kind of avoid the torpedo shots. But this, simply put, looks like a lot better of a layout, at least grabbing these 3 points, as opposed to the last match where they're kind of spread out in a ridiculous manner. But this time I learned my lesson, not to kind of have my frigates behind me and have everything boost. That's just giving myself free damage, I suppose. But I still want to try and boost forward as safely as I can. And I don't want to, I kind of want to start with lock on, so that way I could potentially switch to brace for impact or reload, since I don't think I need to have my big red button available as soon as possible. And I didn't group my frigates again. I'm rushing this a bit, I think is what's going on. Let's fix that, since I had such an awkward time grouping up before. But otherwise, I am wondering if the shocking saps will be useful here, if I could slow them down, because I do technically have 5 sap cannons that will slow down their speed for 5 seconds at a time. That's if I'm willing to commit to staying in a single group, which is seriously not likely to happen, but at the same time, if I spread out, Wog Song's not going to be very effective either. So I'm wondering what would be a good upgrade with that said. And I can't really think of any, because regenerating shields is pointless because of disruption overcharge, spear crystal lenses, and all that stuff. Maybe the faster big red buttons, that could have made the difference there. Especially since we're all battleships. Keep in mind, this only affects battleships, so it works out well in that regard. So maybe that one upgrade alone could have made the difference, just because of the need for me to spread out and grab objectives when they decide to commit a battleship over that way. And it very well could have made the difference near the end there. I want to argue at least.
We's ready. Here we go.
Now, not much point. Well, I can prioritize engines to see if we could get something to stick. Oh, and it timed out, so they're probably AFK at the moment.
You got it.
Which isn't really what I want, but it is what it is, maybe. We'll see if they come back. Or not. The name suggests they're a bot, so you figure they're never AFK, right? That's what bots have led me to believe. But I think the plan is simple. We'll grab this objective, start swinging over and grab the other 2. And maybe look for a window to grab these ones here, but I would have to... I think I'm okay sending a single battleship over. It is going to require a little bit of experimentation if that's a smart idea or not. But I have frigates to kind of surround, and I think we only saw 5 ships, although I did not pay attention if there was something in the gas cloud when they finally start to move. So it's possible that there could be a 5th ship, which would be the usual 3 battleships. A light cruiser, maybe a frigate, depending what kind of battleships they are.
You want us over there?
And I thought I heard a boost there, but I wasn't really looking. So those could be impalers, in which case I do need a brace for impact to help mitigate that. Also to pay attention which direction they're going.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
It's only a single squadron at the same time too.
What you want?
So not terrible just yet. I do not. This terrifies me for trying to spread out though, with that said. Since sure, Orks may have less point defense, but with 5 battleships worth of point defense, it's still effective enough to maybe kill these off quickly.
Retro's on.
It killed them off immediately. Although, let's get the frigates going, that's going to be
The enemy has
important.
seized a strategic area.
So
You
this
have
forces
seized
me
a
to have a nice
strategic
tight
area.
clump.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Because that's 2 impaler squadrons just shot down, thankfully. And that was a lot of lightning.
Wings ready.
And sadly, I don't have lock on, even though I'm technically not in range anyway.
Faster, you grunts.
Boost forward and hopefully don't hit. Oh, I'm flying into impalers. Actually, those aren't impalers, that's a carrier ship. So this is, in theory, should go a little bit better. Yeah, because they're a lot less durable. They're a lot easier to shoot down. Okay, so this might be a lot more simpler of a match, simply put, just since my opponent's easily losing control of their ships.
The fight is over here.
Although, again, with impalers, well, if I have call to arms available, I can, in theory, spread out my fleet a little bit, but they're basically a sitting duck
Orks is best.
once that's off cooldown, unless I leave that on indefinitely, which is not a terrible idea. I just lose a lot of my mobility doing that maneuver. And I heard impalers or something being launched.
Wings ready.
You have seized a strategic area.
So let's boost out of there
Boost bang.
and just slow down the impaler's potential.
You got
Because this is working out pretty well.
Retro's on.
That's 2 charges of their 4. And sadly, I'm not going to get much of shots there, and sadly, that is killing crew.
Orks.
I want to grab the 3 objectives, it goes without saying.
What you want?
But at the same time, I want to try and get some damage to stick, because already we did what? 200? Yeah, almost 200 points of damage.
Wings ready. Load that jump.
I want to lock on, I really want to lock on. It's probably not a good idea for the need to deal with these impalers. But we know where all 3 of the battleships are, so in theory, these frigates can do well at grabbing these points.
You got it.
I just don't want to ram my own ship, is the problem.
You want us over there?
It's free damage, and again, my frigates can grab these points decently enough. I just need to have a good sense of where they are and where they're going. Because I don't plan on moving that far away from the objective.
The fight is over here.
But at the same time, I've been neglecting my MegaKannon, haven't I?
Retro's on. What you want? Here we go.
Okay, we got more impalers coming in, so I guess I take this head on. To an extent.
Orks is best.
These should be able to grab this objective easily enough. It's going to be a bit slow, but
Wings ready.
I am okay with having one of these ships go over
Orks.
and just try and neutralize this point. Because if they infest a battleship over there... Oh. Ah, they got the full 9 boarding.
Wings ready.
That sucks. Even with how low health it was, too, that stinks.
Retro's on. Load that junk.
Now, let's see. Are they going to board this again? Probably, which is why I need to move everything else in front.
Faster, you grunts.
Which is going to suck because of movement. I need all my ships in there to maximize damage.
Faster, you grunts.
We got a little bit more boring, but only 3 boring assaults, so that's not terrible. Actually, I take that back. This got 9 boring actions in. So that's a great way to deal with that. But an awkward placement still at the same time.
You go in, boss.
You have seized a
Now, can we hit it? I did lock on, so hopefully this does. I do not regret this. And my opponent's just holding fire too.
Orks, orks, orks.
Okay, more impalers. We'll deal with that. Dang it. I thought I got the scanner pulse in, but wasn't meant to be. And I don't think we're gonna spot it. Try as I might. I was gambling a little bit on that scanner pulse kind of spotting. Whoa, lucky me. Still no engine critical hit, but I see it turning from the left, the remaining silhouette of it.
What you want? The fight is over here.
In 17 seconds, can I spot this? Eh.
That's not supposed to burn. Fix it. Orks, orks, orks.
Alright, let's give him what he wants there.
You want us over there?
Someone panicked.
The ship's got holes in it.
Sadly, I had to burn double pulses or all that, but
Hit the red button. You got it, boss.
now, can we kill these ships off easily enough? Probably not.
Send to strategic points.
But we're in good shape to at least kill this one ship off. It's on all sorts of fire. I just need the hits to matter.
Boss. Wings ready.
And they did get scared at least. My opponent lost a little bit of focus, especially with me about to grab this objective too.
Yeah?
Can I boost some more?
Now let's go went boom.
The enemy is seizing.
I am losing crew last, so this will still hurt over time. But
You got it, boss.
and this is the flagship as well.
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Board me, let me try and kill you off somehow. Although I'm not going to get that kill I want, sadly.
Faster, you grunts. You got it.
And I think they're all out of assault ships too, which will help. Especially as I'm about to grab.
All you boys did good, boss.
Okay, call arms will try and minimize the troop damage some.
Here we go.
Sadly, that is close to death, but not a whole lot I can do there.
Orks, orks, orks.
And you still got a good crew complement so far.
You have seized a strategic area.
Actually, I know what I want to do here. I don't know how well it's going to work, but I think I want you to kind of hit that one crippled battleship with a Nova Cannon shot. Sadly, you are the last frigate.
Orks is best. Move that junk.
Alright, get boosting. Try
You got it.
minimize his damage some.
You want us over there.
And thankfully, we could deal with the bombers really well.
Look on, boss. You got it, boss.
Since one is crippled, you're about to lose your morale. That's a bit of a problem.
Faster, you grunts.
And you're on fire due to... That's what's causing your morale right now, and it stinks. Because now you have no crew left,
Orks, orks.
no- let alone an engine.
Yeah. Here we go.
Just a bit of an
You
odd
have seized a
exchange, but
strategic area.
the battleships are committed to fighting over here.
Move that junk.
Just don't let them hit my rear. It's kind of the main thing.
Faster, you
Give me as much resilience as durability as possible. Ooh, and you're conveniently nice and crippled too, but sadly my flagship is at an awkward angle.
Wings ready. Wings ready.
Can I? Actually, let me just keep you in there. It's the
What you want?
being subtle and keeping them hidden is going to help a ton.
Over here.
And at least let's deny them their Venom Bomb, because that has unlimited charges. That's a bit of the problem there.
Retro's on.
Unlimited charges, so they're going to keep spewing that every opportunity they can get.
Orks, orks, orks.
And if I can hide in the gas
The
cloud, that
enemy
helps a
has seized
ton.
a strategic area.
Otherwise, their fleet is really damn crippled. I'm lucky enough to get that. But not quite a Mega Cannon hit, am I?
Of strategic points.
And if they get close, I can reveal them.
Move that junk. Here we go.
Alright, can I boost out?
What you want?
Nope, not quite.
Here we go.
Generator's sadly gone as a result. Permanently gone at that.
Full speed.
But the bombers should hopefully get shot down. It loses a lot of their power. And they have to get it really close to kind of do the boring damage they want. They can still lightning strike. That's still going to be a pain.
Yeah.
They're just called arms. I'm just going to permanently leave called arms up.
Retro's on.
And maybe I could kill these frigates.
Enemy ship sighted.
Alright.
You got it.
This is not... If this hit works, that'd be amazing. Wow.
Faster, you grots.
That was convenient.
You got it.
There goes a lot of their firepower and boarding potential. And I have a substantial point lead. Again, you can see where this may not be all that interesting, especially if I'm going to be fighting Eldari and Drukhari all this time.
Move that junk.
But let's see, flagship can do shots. Okay, both of them are here.
Over there.
And conveniently, you just given up altogether, have you now? I just wish I had a generator lightning strike with you. And those are just fighters. I'm not scared of fighters. Although I did lose my frigate despite all that.
Here we go.
But I know what to do with you. Maybe. If my opponent's going to be so fixated over here on these battleships, maybe I could get away with grabbing the objectives on the right. A silly notion, but I do have a bigger red button now, or lots of thrusters, so
Reloading.
it's a bit of a gamble. But I know they're over here.
You got it.
And how's morale looking? So far, morale's in phenomenal shape. And there was the rally too, so...
The enemy has seized a strategic area.
Now, that was the deck destroyed, so... Can I regenerate it? I regenerate most of it.
Orks is best. Orks.
Now, let's just try and deny him the objectives. This is likely going to lose its crew. One Venom Bomb is all they need to kill the crew of the ship, but... With the point lead I currently have, and keep in mind, these fighters only will shoot down my point defense, and not really anything else. So I think I'm okay in that regard, to let them kind of peck away at me. Especially since you're constantly revealing where you're kind of at. I should seriously consider permanently leaving my call to arms up and off running though. Since that could still kill me, since I haven't really been doing the best tally on how many lightning strikes or boarding assault actions they have left. So maybe I just leave this on unless I get an opportunity to do damage.
Here we go.
And if we can, just kill off these ships at the same time.
You got it, boss.
This should be game.
You have seized a strategic area.
At 5 seconds. Oh no, you got your boost going, so you'll get out.
Fight is over here.
Bit of an awkward mess, but
We's ready.
they're going all in on the boring, so I can respect that.
Orks, orks, orks.
Let's just grab this objective.
What you want?
I am going to take a lot of damage, but
Enemy ship.
I can easily get a 5th objective. Do I leave Called Arms running, though? Because you are the one that
You got
I
it,
kind of
boss.
want them... They are really tempted to board this.
You want us over there?
Alright, come on. I dare ya.
Orks is what orks do best.
Alright, so I sadly do not... Oh, hold that thought. I should be able to boost out of this in time. Oh, that's game. Again, maybe not the most exciting type of match, but you can see how you can win. It's just probably not the way you would want to win as Orks, needless to say. And these are lower level fleets, but this, well, Spear Crystal Lenses, I guess that's to get rid of the shields quickly and keep them from regenerating, maybe. But Phantom Shard Bombs is important for the boarding-centric style. I don't know what kind of risk you had with me kind of catching you, though, in general, but they had Dark Matter Cannon to kind of slow me down. So I don't know what to take on that, aside from what we've seen there. Slow and steady, I kind of need to control the map, as it were, is what it really comes down to. Oh, thank God, we're not going to face off against Drukhari again. Although we're supplementing it for something that's at least just as stealthy, but at the same time, my MegaKannons can murder them, but only if I can get them on the prow, ideally. Hell, I have very respectable firepower on my broadside as well, but if they're Pyroastic-centric, it goes without saying I need to kill as much of them as I can quickly, because otherwise the fire results are going to get a little extreme, and I'm not going to have any way to kind of get out. And since I have no fighters, I'm going to have to rely on Beacon a little bit and just intuition to kind of sense where they're at, which can always go badly if I predict it wrong, but we're ultimately going to be just trying to kill this fleet off. It's probably what's going to be, although grabbing objectives is still really damn important. And this time I'm inclined to have the battleship hanging back some, for that little bit added protection. But do I need a tractor cannon, as weird as it may sound? That's the honest question I'm wondering. Do I seriously need the tractor cannon when I probably just need more damage? Since I don't actually have a disruption bomb, supercharged void shield can be good since... I honestly don't know, because the beacon can be hit or miss, it goes without saying. But it's great area denial, which is why I do enjoy taking it. Even if I don't reveal any of their ships with it, it still has that potential to keep them out of that area. Kind of like if you see my weekend stream where I was trying with Massive Claw Tyranids. Alright, so at least this will be a different type of match, because I don't think, well, it's needless to say, it's an incredibly long match with just 2 Drukhari battles by itself, for crying out loud, since we had to drag it out to the actual, like, our score being up to the victory counter, and not so much actually killing the fleet. And I honestly don't know if they're using silent rushes or not. That always terrifies me, because it really does affect how I should approach this. I guess an easy tell will be how quickly they grab this objective, assuming they use a flagship, or at least like a cruiser of some kind. That would be the best tell I can at least come up with. Now, I want to fire a beacon of some kind. Actually, I should pay attention when revealed. Sure, I may not be Drukhari to have easy ways to conceal myself, but since I didn't really hear any lock-ons, I should be able to know when they're arguably within 9,000 range. And that will make a world of difference. I'm willing to suicide a couple of these ships if I can at least get multiples of their ships spotted. At least that way I can use as a compass. So I want to say, judging by my own speed, since let's keep in mind I did not boost. That wasn't really planned that way, but I'm taking advantage on the fact that I'll know when I'm revealed. So, judging by how slow my ships are compared to theirs, I'm willing to believe that that was just normal movement, not a rush. So that it still remains to be seen if they have silent rushes, but I think that's the mindset my opponent's going with, is not trying to reveal where they are, which I can appreciate.
You got it, boss.
And that gives me a little bit of information as well, with that said, because that's always the wild card, isn't it? Knowing if they can get to me a lot more quicker than normal with that little bug that sometimes has the rush being glitched out, or at least silent. And again, I did not hear tracking senses, so that normally would mean they can detect this frigate at 13,000 unit range. Well, I know as soon as they reveal the ship that at least something's in 9,000 range. And the beacon did reveal Okay, this
The
is a
enemy
pyro
has
acid
seized a
fleet.
strategic area.
And I would like to avoid that. No stances.
Enemy ship sighted.
Maybe it was easily forgotten, but this beacon is actually
You
paying
have
off
seized a
slightly.
strategic area.
Let me actually have these frigates go forward more, since this one's likely going to get revealed, but I want to try and take full advantage of not being revealed to kind of be used as that kind of beacon.
Enemy ship
Although,
sighted.
this is the standard pyro acid fleet, so...
Orks is best.
And with lock on, that helps. Now let's just switch around and use these ships to kind of ideally
Rackhands on.
spot the cruisers themselves.
Orks, orks, orks.
Although, this is really convenient, it goes without saying. I am getting amazing value out of this beacon right now.
Enemy ship
Now I'm just...
sighted.
That's not the flagship, but we've seen 2 hive ships. So I'm safe to just commit to this now.
Over there.
I just need to focus my targets down. Ideally the flagship, which does have synaptic relay, but I do partly dislike focusing on the flagship just because of Void
The
Lurker.
enemy has seized
They
a
could easily just
strategic
jump it
area.
away. So fixating on this can be a terrible mistake if done wrong. As,
Red rose on.
let's see, as kind of demonstrate a little bit, but
Time to stop
I feel
them.
so much better about going after the other ships.
Ready.
And I should maybe boost in there, but I am hitting with guns as well. Plenty and plenty of guns. And also, I gotta keep in mind, remember, these things only shoot at the closest ship to them. So ideally, once their shields are down, I should just boost them behind something else and let the other ships take focus. Ideally, I want to sprout the shield damage, because once their prow weaponry is gone, that's heavily mitigated. They could rush at any time, which is why I'm not using the plasma bomb, as for the same reason.
Faster, you grunts.
But everything's revealed. Ooh. No, I do have repairs, thankfully.
You got it, boss.
So sure, it's a lot of fire assaults, but again, that's easily mitigated. And this is the perfect time for a plasma bomb, if they did not recharge that. Ooh, and perfect positioning on my one battleship trying to kill this thing. This is arguably as close as you can get to a mirror match, since these 2 playstyles are technically the same. Only their frigates are a lot more dangerous than my frigates, with the pyro acid also contributing with fire assaults.
Punch the bird. Fix it.
But damn, I kind of forgot about the spore fields in all seriousness, but we're about to make this fatal. Good god, just look at all that damage from the broadside combo with the mega cannons. That was not pretty.
You got it, boss.
Although, it comes down again a lot to the beacon, because I could feel comfortable just pushing there with those 2 hive ships being revealed.
Faster,
And this is actually going to lose its morale, so
The enemy has accumulated 25% of strategic points. 50% of strategic points.
yeah, well, even,
We'll
it,
fight
you know,
another day.
in all honesty, even on my broadside might not be terrible either, since while I still... Oh, we'll wait for the sirens to go by first, but if I'm understanding this correctly, they only have 2 sets of heavy guns on the broadside, 4 total, but these are a lot more potent. Hell, I don't even think... Well, this is a little bit more powerful than a single mega cannon, but still, if they get on my broadside, not only are they doing more damage because of the weaker armor, I'm doing less damage to them. Never mind the fact I'm not flying towards them either, so I can't quite get in point blank range with ramming. But if somehow they were able to avoid my detection enough to get behind me with any of their ships, or even just a really effective Void Lurker with the flagship, I am fucked. It'll take an eternity for me to turn around, even with the red ones go faster, because this used to increase the rotation speed by what, 5-6 degrees maybe? I can't honestly remember, but that is a significant difference opposed to the, what, 2 degrees that we currently have. So that flagship can be a nightmare for me, even though they technically do leave it isolated at the same time. But still, since I have no micro warp jump or anything to kind of reposition myself, I would almost argue that at least the flagship, the Tyranid flagship, should try and jump behind me. Even if it's just a broadside weaponry, if they're too afraid to commit fully. That's still a lot of free damage. And then you can have the rushes handy for escaping when I do eventually turn around. But for the rest of the fleet though, it does rely heavily on their ability to avoid detection. In that case, my beacon was invaluable, but it's like I said, it can be hit or miss, but it's perfect for area denial. If there's like a prime area where you think that would be beneficial to them, namely like gas clouds or asteroid belts they can reconceal themselves in. That would be the best use of this.